And he's a tough boy.
OK, we'll try and get some news on that from Mauricio Pochettino later. Manchester United win at Wembley. 6 out of 6 for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the temporary manager. Earlier on, another manager in the spotlight for different reasons. Marco Silva needed a win. Everton got it. Only their second in 9 games. They beat Bournemouth by 2-0. So, significant change in today's Premier League table. Not the change Tottenham wanted. As I say, they could have gone second. They stay third. They're now 9 points behind Liverpool. Manchester United, though, suddenly have crept up level on points with Arsenal, 6 points away from Chelsea. Their next 2 games, Manchester United, Brighton and Burnley at home. Everton have gone back into the top half of the table with that win. 30 points for them and only 2 points off that 7th place spot currently occupied by Watford. It means that Wolves just drop into the bottom half, into 11th, before they go to the champions Manchester City tomorrow, of course. Bournemouth stay 12th. Huddersfield still propping up the table. And as you can see, a long way from safety. Well, we'll get much more from Ryan and from Tim. We've got lots to come from Wembley as well, on a huge win.
You know, we put in a lot of work today. The second half was more difficult than the first half, but it doesn't matter now that we got the 3 points. So we go home now and prepare for the next game.
David, when all your teammates come to you at full time, do you know you've had a good day?
Yeah, especially because we won the game against a top team like Tottenham. I think we deserve to win. We control the first half, but the second they put pressure, a lot of pressure. They had chances, but we defend well and we have the 3 points.
11 saves in the second half. No keeper, no other keepers made that in an entire match. Do you get to the point where you start to feel unbeatable?
Well, I was feeling very well with the first 2 saves. But it was a great game, especially, like I said, for the 3 points in that pitch at Wembley with the fans, away game. So very, very happy.
From the 11, can you pick a favourite? Can you pick a best save?
No, I don't even remember some of them. So I'm happy with everything. With the
no post.
It was his fault.
He's bailed you out, hasn't he, Marcus? I see.
Yeah.
Just tell us about the plan today, because it was obviously a different game to the others you've had under this manager, and the plan seemed different.
Yeah, we played a slightly different system, but against a team like this, it was needed because the other teams that we've played have played pretty much the same system. So today was a different game, and you know we prepared different for it, and the tactics changed. But this is what we have to do to beat the top teams. We have to adapt, and we keep pushing and keep improving.
Gary Neville said in commentary that you're the man now. Maybe for the first time under this manager, you're the go-to guy for goals. Are you enjoying that?
I think it's a good responsibility, but I think since this manager's come in, everyone's chipped in. Today it weren't about the goals, it was about the keeper today, and the amount of saves that he's made is tremendous. But you know, we know that we have that at the back with David. So,
David, you obviously are going to get a lot of the credit for today, but how much credit would you give the manager? How much difference has he made?
Yeah, he brings me some happiness. I think the players are playing very well. The team is strong now, very strong. I think we know how to control the games, how to keep the ball, how to create chances, and that's very good for us. This is the real Manchester United.
Marcus, I don't think you're going to mind handing this over. The Premier League man of the match, David De Gea.
Okay.
Lovely little handshake as well.
Thank you.
Well done, boys.
Anybody around the world in any corner of it that would disagree with the awarding of that one. I know you've worked closely with him, you've played with him, and he's had fantastic days. Has he had a better 45 minutes in a United shirt than that, David De Gea?
No, probably not. Just the pure volume of the saves. And, you know, there's a lot of talk these days about certain goalkeepers, how good they are with their feet. But a goalkeeper's job is to keep it out of the net. And I said at half-time, De Gea saves Lloris's, the chance Rashford's goal. De Gea saves that. And it's just, there's no sort of panic when he saves it. He's in the right place. He stands up. And it's just, and that, when you have a goalkeeper like that, it goes throughout the team. When you've got a calm, such a goalkeeper like that, it just instills confidence right through the team. And he was just unbeatable. And a lot of the shots come to him, but he's got to be in the right position for that. And that would be my criticism of Lloris. Was he in the right position? De Gea just always seems to be in the right position. And not only does he save it, when they come out,
they put their hands up and say he didn't do enough, and Manchester United done very, very well. Second half, they can't do any more. It's just the goalkeeper who was inspired today, and he's been inspired for many, many years from Manchester United. You know, you think, where would they be without him? You know, in previous years, he's fantastic. He's just such a dominant force and such a calming influence to his back four. You know, if you could get settled good players in front of him, because I think they're still weak defensively, Manchester United, to get to where they need to be, which is winning titles, that man behind a fantastic back four would be almost unstoppable. And it gives the freedom for your midfield players and your offensive guys, like they've got in abundance, to go and express themselves a lot more. If you've got that security at the back, it just allows you, just gives you wings to just go forward and hurt the opposition.
You mentioned goalkeepers playing with their feet. What about his saves specifically with his feet today, right?
Not only the distance he gets on the saves. You know, you see most of these, they're not touching the floor until they're outside the edge of the box. So the timing that he gets when he does is outstanding as well. You know, he's not saving them and they're in the 6-yard box and you're scrambling to clear it away again. All them saves, he's got so much power on his...
He's got to watch him play and take a leaf out of his book. Stay calm. He's erratic all the time. He gives you nerves, you know, when you watch him. He almost wears me out when I watch Pickford play. When I watch De Gea play, I feel calm. I just sit there and like, you know he's the governor. He's got that aura of the best goalkeeper in the world, and he's got to be up there with the top goalkeepers out there.
Is he a cool character as a person as well? Is he sort of laid back?
Yeah, he's always the same.
Yeah.
You know, whether he lets in, you know, not many as he let in, made mistakes. He did win in the World Cup, but his persona just doesn't change. And that's what Tim's saying, that calmness. You know, all the best goalkeepers, Van der Sar, David Seaman, Courtois, Schmeichel, you can count on one hand how many mistakes they make. And there's goalkeepers who make outstanding saves like De Gea, but they'll make mistakes as well. And they want to be everywhere. They want to save everything. They want to come for crosses that they can't get to. David De Gea's managing of his goal mouth is amazing. And, yeah, for me, he's the best. Yeah, he's the calmness that he shows within the goal is second to none.
So, in total contrast, Ryan said at half-time, the goal when it came, De Gea would have saved it. Should Hugo Lloris have saved it?
I think so. I think he lost his bearings. He comes run out. When the ball gets played from Paul Pogba into Rashford's pass, I think he anticipated a straight one over the top, and he's very good at coming out and sweeping. So he stayed on the other side of the pitch. So he ends up running. Now, this is poor play from Kieran Trippier. You see how high Ben Davies are. They're so expansive. And if you give the ball away, this is what happens. And we talked about Vertonghen missing a lot of football. And when you get Marcus Rashford running away from you, you're never going to catch him. But his bearings are wrong. His angles are all wrong there, Lloris, in my opinion. I mean, it goes right into the corner, but he gets a hand on it. Yeah, and I 100% agree with Ryan. De Gea saves and he gets his team off the hook. I think he's a wonderful goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris, but he's not in the same level as David De Gea.
And he's a World Cup winner. The goal scorer, Marcus Rashford, has scored in 3 Premier League games running for the first time in his career. He's now got 4 in 5 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the Premier League, having got 3 in 14 under Jose Mourinho. What's he done, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to get Rashford in that kind of form all of a sudden?
Since Ole's took over, you see the goals that Man United score. They're 1 and 2 touch. You even there, I think it's Jesse lays it off to Pogba, out of his feet, bang. So when you have players on the pitch that you know, so it was the same when I played with Scholesy. I know Scholesy. He's going to touch it and I'm running. I'm off. So when Rashford sees it on Pogba's feet, he's off, he's running. He's not thinking he's going to take too many touches. And that is whereas perhaps Pogba early on in the season would have took too many touches. But no, we're Man United, we attack quickly. As soon as you win it, bang, 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 and 2 or 3 passes later, it's in the back of the net. And that is the notable change that I've seen since Ole's took over. The Reading goals, 1 and 2 touch. Ashley Young to Fred, to Sanchez, through to Lukaku. 1 and 2 touch. No one's taking too many touches. Yeah, in the final third, when you can have a dribble. But in the centre of the park, 1 and 2 touches, and then you have the runners. And when you're a forward and you know that the ball's going to come quickly, you'll make the runs.
So he's benefiting from those tweaks that Ryan's talking about, Marcus Rashford?
Absolutely. I think they're playing, they're taking what's on offer. And what's on offer at the moment, the way they set up today, they left the free forward in the first half and they looked a real threat. So when you win the ball in midfield, you can pass it incisively, you can pass it forward, you can pass it quickly. And they didn't turn down that opportunity. And the goal was a prime example of that. It was poor play from Tottenham, not secure enough on the ball, and Pogba just saw that pass. It wasn't a difficult pass. It was a good pass, and he just slides it into the path of Marcus Rashford. And it was 1v1. There's a mismatch with Jan Vertonghen. Even when he is fully fit, the speed just took him away, and he just passes it into the net. There was nothing rash about his finish. It was almost a Solskjaer finish.
Harry Kane, let's go back to that because you picked up on that straight away at the end. Some concern. We're waiting for news, but
it looked like... Look, there's an impact. It was an impact right on the top of his foot. Now, Harry's had 2 metatarsal problems, or broken foot, whatever you want to call it. He won in Norwich when he was on loan there, and he had a problem last year playing away at Bournemouth, and he picked up an injury. That didn't look good. The way I know how strong the boy is, you know, he's not doing that for effect, not doing that for any sort of sympathy. He's doing that because he's genuinely hurt. If they lose Harry Kane, it's a major, major blow in all competitions.
So it could be a double blow all round then? Today.
Yeah. I mean, it was a blow enough not to win the game today because I think that rules them out. I mean, it's still an outside chance, but you need a proper fall from grace from Liverpool and Man City.
And with Son as well.
Yeah, and with Son leaving, great point. You know, he leaves for 3 games, 3 Premiership games, 5 in all competitions. You know, you've got to find another solution now, but that's what management's all about.
And Kane, in the end, didn't get the joy that you were pointing to at half-time with Phil Jones. He had plenty of opportunities, just couldn't.
More by luck than judgment. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to address this. You know, it's easier to address when you won the game, you got away with it. As to Paul Jones, probably on his own, and just this. You're not streetwise enough. You're easy pickings for someone to block you off. Son done it that time and to get away with it on the edge of the box. This is Ben Davies here. Like, he just pulls it off him. Just too easy, and he gets the ball down 10 yards from goal. He should have scored. But we've had the warning before. This year he gets away with him again here. Look, he's just a mismatch. But I think you have to be strong enough. If you're Phil Jones and he feels like it might be a weakness game, you will put up, there you're going to mark here. Jones, you're going to mark Kane. And if he feels like he can't cope, he's already, in August, he already got away from him a few times and he scored at Old Trafford. He's got to say to him, Gaffer, I'd rather swap. I'd rather someone else goes in there. You'd rather your player's very honest with it. But Ollie's seen it now. He's seen it firsthand. He's given him enough opportunity. If there's someone as clever as Harry Kane with good movement and he's cuter than Phil Jones, then there'll be other strikers out there. He has to have someone who's more responsible than Phil Jones marking, because today they got away with it because more by luck than judgment.
Yeah, in some games, I mean, we got away with it today because the goalkeeper was outstanding, but you can't keep doing that throughout the season. You will. You know, your centre-halves, you rely on your centre-halves to win them sort of challenges. I know Harry Kane's a handful. I know he's a top player. But as your centre-half, you can't afford to give a centre-forward that much room and that many chances. You know, on another day, that's 2 or 3 goals for Harry Kane. It's as simple as that.
And to be fair, having ridden their luck, they've showed a different side to their game today, United, than they had been required to, really, under Solskjaer.
Well, you know, you don't want to keep going back to what United used to do. But what we used to do was impose ourselves on the game and then get ahead and then, OK, soak up the pressure and catch them on the break. Rather than the other way around, you know, you get back in your shape and then you sort of feel your way into the game. No, impose yourself on the game, go ahead and then just pick them off. And didn't quite happen where the second half just couldn't hold it up. But that's credit to Tottenham. They played really well second half. But no, it was a really impressive first half tactically, and then you've got to go out and do it, and the lads did it. And full credit to the players and full credit to Ollie and the coaching staff. OK, Ryan, we're going to talk to somebody you know very well now, live from Wembley. Delighted to say that Jesse Lingard is waiting to speak to us. Thanks so much indeed for joining us, Jesse. Well done. How good does that feel?
No, it's brilliant. You know, it was a great win. I think, you know, we started the game on the front foot. We set the tempo for the game, and, you know, in the future, hopefully so. You know, credit to Ollie for setting us, you know, all that way and catching him off guard.
And another goal for Marcus Rashford, 4 in 5 for him now.
Yeah, he's you know, he's in excellent form at the moment, and, you know, in front of goal, he's been practicing, you know, on a training pitch week in, week out. So, you know, he's got that in a locker, you know, to produce on a game day.
And I know you've played with your goalkeeper for a long time, and he's had outstanding days. But what was that like in the second half to see that string of saves from David De Gea?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the more important and, you know...
Atmosphere like 6 wins out of 6 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Everyone seems to be smiling.
Yeah, there's a lot of smiles at the moment, but, you know, there's a long way to go. We've got the rest of the season to go, and, you know, now it's about plugging away, you know, each game and getting the 3 points and moving on. So, you know, for us, there's a lot of confidence going into, you know, we've got to keep going now.
Jesse, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Well done today. Manchester United winning by a 1-0 against Tottenham at Wembley today, and I think we can now get the thoughts of the United manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
But today, have you just taken it to another level?
Well, results-wise, I think go away here and beat Tottenham, I think that's fantastic. Obviously, we hung on second half. I thought we never got to grips with it when they changed the system. But you're allowed to have a good goalkeeper.
You say then you never got to grips with them second half. Did they get to grips with you first half and just tell us the plan that gave you superiority in the game?
I thought we did really well second half. You know, when you got the pace of Rashford and Martial, Lingard, got the cleverness of Paul, Ander, Nemanja, the plan was to go quickly. Pace, attack quickly with pace. Obviously the goal was fantastically taken by Rashford, but you know, the defensive job Jesse does and the pass from Paul is just, that's half the goal.
Tell us about how and why you changed your formation today. Lingard more central, wide forwards.
Well, that's my privilege to know. No, we worked on it for a week.
But why did you do it?
Why?
Obviously it worked.
Because we thought that was going to work here today. We've seen them and we thought that was going to be a good plan. And it's good that we've got different ways of playing against different teams. And I think today we showed that we're ready to compete, especially first half when, you know, I thought we were excellent. Second half, we could have scored 2 or 3 ourselves, so it wasn't that one-sided, even though they put us really under pressure.
Were you able to work on certain things in Dubai during this week that you saw out there today that worked?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what I am.
No, but the goal, obviously, that's why we put Anthony and Rash wide of Jesse. Jesse could drop in, he's more of a link player. Rash and Anthony, they're more direct towards goal. That's why that plan, and it worked today.
You said you're allowed to have a good goalkeeper. How good was he second half?
Fantastic. Obviously, when you make 11 saves, that's a top performance. But then again, I thought it's maybe 1 or 2 that's really good saves, and the rest of them you'd expect David to save.
Do you think you've shown a different side of yourself today? It was about coming in, putting smiles on faces, managing, but today was a tactical plan that worked.
Well, I'm not here to talk about myself, so that's we defended well as a team. You know, Jonah and Phil, I thought they were excellent centre-backs. You know, when you play against Harry Kane, you're always going to be tested. When they put Llorente on, I thought we defended really well. Nemanja and Ander in front of them. Just a complete defensive team performance.
Did you think about yourself at all today and maybe it being an audition for the job? Look, because you're up against such a great coach, the favourite for the job, such a great team as well.
No. Why? I know why I'm here. I know what my job description is for the months I'm here, so I'm just doing whatever I can to help the club and help the team. So today we got away with 3 points.
Is it going better than you ever expected?
You expect to win every game when we're at Man United, but of course, one day you'll hit a brick wall and maybe you lose a game. But now we won this one. We look forward to Brighton.
Well done, fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done, Ollie.
6 out of 20. Townsend, who was sitting right behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer throughout that. What did you make of it, Andy?
Do you know, it was amazing. Second half, he actually turned round, Steve, and said he don't do this Monday to Friday. He said he don't save them like this, and he's just having a bit of fun. Actually, all the United support staff were all just amazed at the quality of the goalkeeper's performance. It was incredible, and he is one of those types. Listen to Tim and Ryan just now. I think there are certain goalkeepers that you look at that you know can have some of those days, but he's one, I think, that when he's really on it, when he's at his absolute very unbeatable, and it was just an exceptional performance, and everybody else was working terrifically hard. It's the best I've seen Victor Lindelof play as a centre half. Luke Shaw come flying in at the end, made a really great block when the ball was coming in wide from Kieran Trippier with just a few minutes on the clock. You know, United had to defend with a bit of desperation today, but that's a good sign. You have to do that now and again. You have to be taken to task by your opponent now and again and come through it, and they did it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, a lot has been said of, you know, the goals that they scored, but, you know, we all know you get just as much satisfaction about a gritty, lucky 1-0.
Yeah.
And that'll give the lads huge confidence going forward.
Certainly will, Ryan. You know, first half I thought there was a menace about them. They looked dangerous. There was a real cutting edge to what they were trying to do. When they countered on Tottenham, they looked very dangerous. But Spurs second half, wow, they absolutely gave every last drop that they could possibly find. And United stood there and they resisted and they dug in. And when someone made a mistake, there was a player there to try and get them out of trouble. And then, of course, when all was lost, they had the man in between the posts to bail them out. So, in many ways, Ryan, that's probably it can be the most satisfying sort of victory, as you say. You know, they'll have days when they're going to rattle in 6 or 7 against various opponents, United. But you go through that sort of 90 minutes where you've really had to go for it, and you get the win like that, and that is quite special.
Andy, we just heard Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there about his plan. We've just spoken to Jesse Lingard, playing down the middle for the first time since his younger days.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you make of that in the first half? Because it looked as though it completely surprised Tottenham.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, Spurs were a definite diamond first half. United had similar traits, but they had Jesse, as you say, playing in that forward position, and the 2 other guys either side of him, which give a problem a little bit for... More so for Kieran Trippier, I thought, than Ben Davies. First half, he looked a little bit unsure, got caught in possession a little bit too many times for my liking. And I think whenever United turn the ball over in Spurs territory, they always, as I say, looked dangerous. And it was interesting watching Ollie and Michael Carrick and Mickey Phelan second half. It was very interesting watching them plot their next move, because Pochettino comes straight out at the start of the second half and put Son wide and Lamella wide and pushed Dele back up in behind Harry Kane. And all of a sudden, for 5 minutes, they were stood there just having a look at the Tottenham team thinking, what do we do? What do we do? Which way are we going to go? How are we going to change it? And you know what? It's interesting. I've often asked this question about managers. Tim and Ryan would know. Sometimes you just sit there. You sit there and you hope that you get it right, and that you hope that your players can hang in there. And I think today, even though Tottenham were really, really pushing, I think today Ollie probably had that feeling that his boys just might see this one out.
Andy, do you think that's the end of Tottenham's title race?
Do you know, Tim, it most certainly is. I've just actually spoke to some of the Spurs medical team back there, and I said, what's the news on Harry Kane? And that was the response, you know, whatever that means. It's clearly not good. Not really sure exactly what it was. He looked like he was stretching for that one right on full time. But if they lose him, Tim, and they've lost Sissoko today, and there's no Eric Dyer still, and there's no Dembele, they're 9 points off, and they're seriously light in midfield. And if the centre forward isn't going to be with them for 4 or 5, Tim, I just can't see how they can possibly keep the pace. I just can't see it.
Andy, back with you shortly. Fascinating stuff. Thank you very much indeed. We will, of course, get the Tottenham verdict when we come back. Maurizio Pochettino's views